Hi, welcome to another video, still under part one, core beliefs. And this question is, what early signs of failure should owners look for? So if you're a business owner and when you're trying to avoid business failure, there's a couple of things that you should be aware of that can sort of indicate a change in the audience or a dying audience. The first is most audiences aren't going to be dying. There are several that do, and you just have to look at them to understand why. The newspapers. If you are advertising to people who advertise in newspapers or going after people who like reading newspapers, that is a dying market. It's really hard to keep your business sustainable. Next thing to look at would be like shifts in business. So would I recommend you start doing advertising for taxis when Uber and Lyft are around? Probably not. It's not a good strategy. It's not a good business to have. If you have one of those businesses, you should start to see that there's a shift coming and you need to adjust for it, right? This is why a lot of businesses will try and get with other similar businesses and try to push back on the change that's happening. And it just doesn't work. Like you might push temporarily, but it's going to happen. So you need to see what sort of industry trends are taking place, and is your business in one of those that needs to be aware of. Best example I can give you right now that I can think of is the marketing space. The low ticket sort of marketing space is a hard spot to be in because of AI. Because AI can do a lot of marketing, a lot of business owners will go there as a first resort instead of actually trying to get an understanding of numbers or anything. And although AI is nice, it's using a generality of this is what it sees the most of. The problem is the most marketing out there is crap. So it's really hard for it to create something really good for you when it's trained on a bunch of bullshit. Like it's just shitty ads across the board. Sorry for swearing, but it's true. There are ways to talk to the AI to get it to give you a really good ad, but you need to understand how to do that. So it's very difficult for me to put an offer out that says, hey, this is how to, write ads. Here's how to do copy. Here's how to do this. Although there may be people who are interested, a lot of that space is taken over by AI. And with this understanding, you have to look at it and say, is my field of business in danger of being overtaken? So a lot of jobs I can name off right off the bat: designers, copywriters, some of the coders. Like those industries are fading. So if you have a business that's in web design, you have to be really careful because there's a good chance people are going to shift more to AI. Why would they pay you 10 grand when they could pay AI $200 a month, right? When if you look at it, that means for the entire year, they spend maybe 2,400 for the top line of whatever AI, which is still a fraction of what they would pay you if you're charging 10, 15, 20,000 for your website, and have the AI do it for them. And because a lot of times this stuff is they don't understand really what's going on. They just want a new thing. They'll take that option. So you need to look at your business and say, hey, has business suddenly dropped off because of advances in technologies, new things that have come on the market? And you can shift. Like you can move with the tide, but if you get stubborn, you're going to get stuck. Not all businesses are immune to this. And I would say almost every business isn't immune to it. So you need to look at what's happening. Now, another early sign of failure would be if you fully understand your audience and the offers you're putting out, people aren't buying. You need to find out why. Why did they suddenly stop buying? And it could be the entire market shifted, right? Either you're in an aging demographic, most of them have aged out. So as a newer, younger audience is coming in, they're looking at things differently. They communicate differently. And if you don't make that shift, that can be an early sign that your business is going to fail. But those are really the big ones that I would say is look for the market shifts and pay attention to those. If you want to put your head in the sand and say business will be fine, this will last forever, that's not going to end well for you. So you need to pay attention to the market. Anyway, something you should look for. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.